I am a dual title major, PhD student in art education and in women's gender and sexuality studies. So initially I thought like WGSS and the sort of gender equity would be my focus, but I'm also an education major. So the fourth goal, the ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all is the one that I'm most interested in as a teacher, but also as someone who's really devoted to social justice work. I think there's so many ways that, like, just even in the US context, that sustainability and social justice are tied up, right? Like, I think we can think about, the train accident in East Palestine right now that's happening, or that happens in the news. And like this idea of how, we had rail workers who were striking and explaining that their conditions were terrible, that there weren't enough people, and that an accident like this was like inevitably going to happen. And we pushed back, these kinds of regulations, and we didn't listen to them. And we basically told them to go back to work. And, you know, what is it, 6 months, 3 months later, that this huge environmental disaster has happened. And so it's not just thinking about like environmentalism. It's like, how are all of these systems tied together? I absolutely love the things that the student farm is doing. Basically, like it's student run. They're building a sense of community. Back to like my interest in education, like they're teaching all of these students how to sustain this farm, how to do it in very natural ways. So not only are they providing produce, but they also are doing like they're growing fresh flowers to sell. And they also grow all of these herbs to create natural dyes. They're also working with Indigenous students to revive these extinct gourds. Like it's amazing. My biggest piece of advice would be to not think of it so narrowly, and not think that it doesn't relate to your work. So I would encourage students to think about like how interconnected systems are, right? So if you think about, for example, certain communities where like collecting rainwater is prohibited, and like which communities are having that access to clean water prohibited and why. So if you're a law student, like that might be your entry point. Or you can think about you know different entry points, like city planning also is another space where like sustainability is a major factor.